back on the Suffolks again. So I thought we'd do a video on this Suffolk 17-inch here. It came in for a recoil job. The recoil start wasn't working. Now, obviously recoils do pack up, the ropes can go, the springs can go, but sometimes in the case of this one, the spring had broken. Sometimes you ask yourself, why is the spring broken? Anyway, sometimes the reason why the spring's broken or the rope or something's happened to it is because it's not starting well. You just keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and eventually the recoil is going to give out. So this came in, as I said, and I put a new spring in it. I thought, that's it, job done, we can get that one out. But obviously when I went to start it, well, that's a different matter. I quite quickly realised why the recoil had broken. So I thought it's quite a nice little one to do a video on, quite interesting, and I've not opened it up yet, but we will do. So what we've got here, this is a Suffolk 17-inch Super Punch Professional. Now, the Suffolk Super Punches, they made a lot of those. There's still a lot around, good mowers, but they did do this Super Punch Professional version, which it's obviously a nice mower. Haven't made them for a long time, but this was very, very similar to the domestic version. This one has got the 10-bladed cutting cylinder, and it's got a metal front roller rather than the wooden or the plastic on the later, and a smooth rear roller as well. So this was really designed for, aimed at the sort of bowls, croquet, pitch and putt, that sort of thing. Fine turf where you wanted a nice, fine, close cut at an affordable price, because it would have been cheaper than a lot of the competition, the Ransoms and all the others out there. It would have been a little bit cheaper. So they did sell quite a lot of them, I think, but they were a good mower. And obviously the earlier ones had the cast iron engine, as this one has. So obviously it's one of my favourites, the cast iron. So anyway, so what we're going to do is, the title of the thumbnail probably gives it away. So what we're going to do is we're going to start this thing up, and I'll let you see what you think. Or try. So I'm just going to see, hopefully you can see it all right. Let's have a look. We'll get in a little bit. Yeah, you've got a pretty good view. So let's have a look. So we're going to turn the fuel tap on. We've got a twisty. I'm going to prime the carburettor. Give it full choke. We've got the stop off. We've got the clutch disengaged, so the centrifugal clutch, it's hopefully not going to roar away. I don't think that's the case with this. And we're going to see what happens, see what you think. Get you in a bit closer. That might have been it. So there you go, it doesn't sound very good, does it? It's not very often that you get one of these that rattles like that, and that isn't going to last very long, I don't think. I mean, what's odd is the oil's nice and clean. I've checked that, so it's not a shortage of oil. But I'm guessing it's just done a lot of work. You know, it's an old mower, and like anything, it wears out. Even the cast iron engines do. So I think what we're going to do, we know that it's rattly. I don't think it's the clutch. We're just going to have a closer look at the engine, and then I think we're probably going to take the thing off and have a look at it. So I'm going to pump the bench up because we don't want to be grovelling around on the floor. Let's get this up. A little bit noisy, but we'll get there. So, to make things a bit easier. So we'll have a quick look at the machine. As I said, it's a 17-inch Super Punch. We've got 10-bladed cutting cylinder, the metal front roller, and it's got a smooth rear roller. And if we swing it round, let's have a look. So that's the engine. Now, there are other ways to tell, but there's an easy way you can tell that this is the 98cc version, not the 75. If we have a look, we can probably just see that we've got 8 cylinder head bolts on there. It's difficult to see them all. Obviously with the cowling on, but we've got 1, 2, 3. There's another 3 by the tank, and then 7, 8 there. So with the 8 bolts, that tells me straight away it's a 98cc. If it had 6, we know it's a 75. No doubt the engine number and the model of it will tell you that that's a 98cc engine. So a nice thing. Well, let's have a look at the oil while we're there. I did check it and I thought it was pretty good. So we just dip the dipper. Yeah, I think you can probably see it. Just under maximum, but it's quite clean. So we're going to do a few little checks on it, and I think it probably it has got a bit of movement there on that side of the crankshaft. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to swing it round. You can see there okay. Let's place you in a good spot. Slurp of tea. So I think the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take the recoil off. Turn the tap off. 3 washers to just watch out. So let's recoil off. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to have a look and see if we've got any up and down movement this side. Yeah, you can see there's quite a bit there. The end float we don't need to worry too much about, but we've got quite a lot of up and down. And if we just sort of turn it, obviously we're going to have mechanical noise turning things, but if I try and get it sort of halfway up the stroke somewhere, we'll just feel what it's like. Yeah, it doesn't feel very good. I've got a feeling it's either going to be connecting rod, some wear on that, or possibly the piston itself or the little end. But it doesn't really feel right. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to open this up and then we're going to see what the damage is, as they say. So they're nice and easy to get off. Let's just take the throttle, get rid of the throttle cable first. Okay. Just got some of these nice reusable cable ties. They seem to be quite difficult to find. That's a good idea. Right. So it should be quite easy. We've got 4 screws holding the engine down. There's 2 at the back, and then we've got 2 at the front. Jerky. Those off. These have got captive nuts on the engine platform, and it doesn't feel like they're very good. Right, I'm going to do the back ones. So, four bolts out. Now the engine should just pull away. We'll leave the clutch drum there. Just give it a wriggle. There we are. Leave that drum there. That's our engine. So I think what we'll do, we'll push the mower just out of the way briefly, and then we're going to get stuck into the engine. So I think you can see it all right. So let's get an oil tray, and then we're going to take the sump off it. We'll have a look at the damage. So we've just got, they're nice and easy to do these. we've got one at the front and one at the back. The sump should come off. They're quick. We'll just give that a quick blow off. Our rear one. Right, so we should be able to just tap the sump and it should just, might get a bit oily this, but give it a bit of a tap. So, let's have a look. So I'm going to pop the sump with its oil there. Oh dear. Right. So I don't know whether you can see what that is. That's the oil splasher that's broken off on the Conrod. So without that little fella, we've obviously had an oil shortage, which has probably caused our problems in there. So let's just have a look and then just see. We're going to push the dipstick out the way because that's going to get bent. Oh yeah. So I think you can probably, you can sort of hear it. Hopefully you can see it. If I get hold of the big end, in fact you can see that the bolts are loose. And if we just so sadly that's had a oil starvation, and almost certainly it's obviously damaged the big end and the connecting rod as well. Let's just take it off as well and then we'll just have a look, but we can see it's not good. Screwdriver. So all we've got on the Suffolk is we've just got our little tabs that we've just got to hammer over. can see we can just see how loose our Conrod bolts are. So let's undo it and have a look. Normally, when you take the cap off, well, some of them depends on your engine. You can't get them round the wrong way, but I think just normally I would just mark the cap if you're intending to do something with this engine and rebuild it, so we could put that the correct way back. So, oh dear. Ooh, ooh. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can. Tram lines, and the same on the big end. So sadly, this engine has had it, unfortunately. The only way around that would be probably, I don't think Suffolk ever did any oversized Conrods, so it would be a new crankshaft, Conrod. It would be basically a complete overhaul. So, you know, in this case, it's not going to be on. But what I have got is I have got another second-hand engine, and I think it might be okay. So let's put you back on the bench, and then we'll have a look at my second-hand engine. So we'll get you back there with a mower. So what we've got here is a slightly earlier. It is a 75cc cast iron engine. And I've had a quick look at it, and the oil is reasonable. It's got plenty in there. And just sort of turning it over a little bit, it does feel quite good. So I'm fairly hopeful that I can put this engine block on that machine. It's just, like I say, it's a slightly earlier engine. This one has I prefer them, the rather nice cast alley recoil. They're much better, really. It's a 98cc, and I think it's probably going to be okay. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take the cowling off it. We'll service the magneto, clean the points and check the condenser and coil if it's got separate, and give the carb a clean. In fact, I might even just put the carburettor from the original engine onto this engine. But it should be all fairly straightforward, and you know, it will save really, I suppose, scrapping a nice usable mower. So there you have it, a fairly short video, the death rattle. And I must say, it's quite unusual to see a really knackered Suffolk engine. But I mean, let's face it, if the splasher breaks off, it's got no chance of getting any oil at the important moving parts. So really, it was going to happen, wasn't it? Even to the best of engines. So hopefully this engine will save the day. I've done a few videos on the Suffolk overhauling them, so probably don't need to do that again. But to get this machine going again, I think this will probably do the job, and get it up and running. So hopefully we can do that, and I'll probably do that. Well, I'll do that probably off camera, and I may give you an update on it, but I thought you'd like it. Death Rattle 17-inch Suffolk. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.